second. Many people, they get nervous when they go up and do speeches like this. They get nervous about public speaking. But what about performing? Especially singing. Would you be able to get up there and do it? Okay, so this is sheet music. It's basically been dictating my life for about 7 years now, since about middle school. I'm a vocal music major here at Cal State LA. I'm hoping to one day be a vocal coach. I've been in choir here for 3 years in both concert choir and chamber singers, and every once in a while, every quarter I do small performances in music hall at the end of the quarter. By learning about this form of art, I hope you will have a better understanding about performance culture and how I identify with it. First of all, I'll explain basically a little bit about what performance is. So, performance has been around for a long time, basically from medieval times to 20th century period of music. Performing, singing, dancing, playing instruments, anything. So people would put up these shows to tell a story. The singers would use their voices to speak out the story. Dancers would use their movements to kind of tell the actions, and the instruments would kind of portray the mood of the story. And one very well-known type of performance is opera. So you guys pretty sure know what opera is. One very well-known opera is, in French, it's called Orphée et Eurydice. What the opera is, what it's about, it's in the beginning of the opera, Eurydice, it starts off with her dying, so Orphée is there mourning her. A spirit called Amor comes. She tells Orphée that he can go bring her back to life on the condition that he can't look at her. So he accepts the condition. He literally goes through hell and back just to get her. He literally has to go to Hades to go and get her. So afterwards, he ends up finding her throughout his entire journey. He uses his guitar to fight off enemies, to talk to the demon that's right there holding her, and he uses his guitar to kind of try to convince him to let her go. He does it, he convinces the demon to let her go, so at the end, as he's bringing her back, Eurydice questions him, why won't he look at her? So at the end he does, which he violates the condition that he agreed to in the beginning, so what happens at the end is that she dies. He's about to kill himself, because, well, he looked at her, and Amora comes and tells him, okay, just kidding, she can come back with you. So basically the entire moral of the story is the power of music and what it can do. Now I discussed kind of what performing is, so now I will discuss how I identify with it. Performing, singing in particular, has become such a huge part of my life and what I do. Since I wasn't a performer when I was a kid, but I did enjoy music in other ways other than just listening to it. My parents would give me a little guitar, and I would kind of pretend I would write my own melodies, my own lyrics to it. And then kind of as I got older, I realized I didn't exactly like writing music. I liked performing it. So I went to Dizon one day. I went to it was like a karaoke thing in Tomorrowland. I ended up performing. Before I knew it, there was this crowd around me, and it was kind of like this rush of adrenaline. So that's kind of where I got started and wanted to perform. Well, now I started off performing in a show choir in high school, and now what I ended up doing is performing musical theater and doing classical performances. Every time I look at sheet music, it kind of reminds me of where I started from. I didn't know what any of this meant, and now I can kind of just basically read it from the top of my head. So it kind of just reminds me of that I started kind of from not knowing what to do to I kind of found out now what I want to be doing with the rest of my life. So now I hope you have a better understanding of performance culture and how I identify with it. Performing is more than just a song. It's a story being told with lyrics, with dance, with instruments. And the story kind of comes more to life when you get that adrenaline rush where you're up on stage. Just the characters have more energy to them. And it just all helps with the story come to life, and it's all basically just done with the power of music.